Hello everyone, Shadefyre here, and welcome back to Let's Play Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. This is episode 2. Last time we were reintroduced to Jill Valentine in her silly new outfit, and we were back in Raccoon City. We also met Brad Vickers from S.T.A.R.S, who was attacked and told us that something was chasing the S.T.A.R.S members. Always gotta remember to put away our ink ribbon after loading a game. Otherwise we're just wasting a slot. We're actually gonna put away the shotgun, actually. We don't really need it right now, and we can actually use the extra space. Got some Cerberus here. But just like the Cerberus in Resident Evil 1 and 2, they aren't immediately aggressive, so we can sort of walk away from them. So this door's locked with a simple lock, which if you've played another Resident Evil game, you know means we need a lockpick. Since Jill is the master of unlocking, despite the fact that she doesn't have any sort of lockpick with her at any given time. Or even, you know, a bobby pin. And now we've got a familiar area, if you've played Resident Evil 2. The Raccoon Police Department. Though shouldn't it be RCPD, not RPD? I'm pretty sure that was changed in either the live-action movies or just later games.
Jill!
Brad!
We've gotta... Jill! Help!
No! Brad?
So it's the big N-man himself, Nemesis. This is also our first sort of branching choice option. We can either fight Nemesis or enter the police station. We're gonna fight him, even though that's a bad idea. Oh! Because there's one thing we want to do here. Walk over to Brad's dead body, take his card case. You know, rob our fellow officer. He's not gonna need it. That actually went better than I expected. We only took one hit. If we had just picked enter the police station, that's all that would have happened. We would have got that cutscene with the door being banged on. Now, grabbing Brad's card case isn't actually mandatory, but it does kind of create a little bit of a shortcut for you. Which is neat. So, the police station looks the same as it does in Resident Evil 2, however, it's a much shorter area. We're just sort of popping into the office for Jill to grab a few things here, rather than actually exploring the whole place. You can see it's only the left wing that we're going into. None of that third floor attic nonsense. This is a security door, but we need a S.T.A.R.S card to activate it. If we check Brad's card case here, I don't know why it's not just called a wallet. It looks like a wallet, even though it's got his badge attached. We get Brad's S.T.A.R.S card. Now, if we didn't pick this up, we'd actually need to find Jill's card first, which is the kind of lying around upstairs. But by doing this, it creates a bit of a shortcut. Alright, I have to actually... So this password here is actually randomly generated every time you play the game. So that way you can't really, you know, replay the game and already know the password and just use it instead of having to get it. Which is kind of neat. It's one of the many puzzles in this game that has some sort of random element to it to make replayability viable, I guess. I don't know. 0131, and that doesn't get rid of the S.T.A.R.S card because the number isn't actually written down anywhere since, it's random. They didn't have a note for every single combination. So you can just use the S.T.A.R.S card again to get the number, which is 0131 if I remember correctly. It's also interesting that Brad dies out there in front of the RPD office, considering in Resident Evil 2, there was actually a way to get a Brad zombie to show up in that same spot. So maybe that's sort of how they retconned it into making sense, since Resident Evil 2 sort of takes place at the same time as 3. Nothing else we can do in here right now, so let's just head through this door. Into the Beat Cop office, which still has the silly party hats. We got the lucky spawn. Sometimes they'll spawn right in front of the door you come out of, but they all spawn in a line there, so we can just sort of tango around them. Marvin Brana, an officer that Leon speaks with before he dies of his zombie injuries. Interestingly, he doesn't seem to have revived as a zombie yet, so I guess this is before that happens? I'm not 100% clear on where the sort of timeline between 2 and 3 takes place. I don't know if Leon and Claire are still in the police station right now. A clock that requires jewels that have been stolen. Well, that doesn't sound like a puzzle we're going to have to deal with later or anything. I guess Marvin here was a pretty good cop or something, because... or at least a diligent cop, because he took the time to write this report even though there were fucking zombies eating everyone. We also got some shotgun shells, which are not always here. Sometimes there's nothing there, I believe. Again, the puzzles aren't the only thing in this game that is sort of randomized, with the intention of making it more replayable. Here's that blue gem they were talking about, meaning we're only missing one gem from the clock. But we won't have to worry about that for quite some time. Another simple lock. We'll need a lockpick for that. So again, if we hadn't gotten Brad's card, we'd actually need to go find Jill's card before we could get the S.T.A.R.S office key. Alright, should be everyone. And this room is still a safe room. There's a note here. Another cop that couldn't deal with turning into a zombie. I'm kind of curious if that was the guy we found the shotgun on, since that was a cop in the basement. Though I don't know how his memo would have gotten all the way over here. I'm going to be needing this gem for quite some time, and put this gunpowder with that gunpowder. And the S.T.A.R.S card, which we don't even need anymore. Also, don't forget this ink ribbon. Is there an ink ribbon here? Yes, there is. There's always an ink ribbon in the save rooms, but not always by the typewriters. This is the dark room, which you would use to develop the optional film reels in Resident Evil 2, though it doesn't actually do anything here. But it's nice that they, you know, kept the same areas, even if some people might say that's just laziness. I don't really feel it's lazy design just because it's so much shorter than it was in 2. It's not like they just reused the whole area. Those are some bad zombie spawns. We are basically trapped on the edge of a loading screen here, so let's just go back. That's another thing that's randomized. Zombies don't always just pop up in the same spots waiting for you. Sometimes they're, you know, right by the stairs, sometimes they're back there. The perspective on this door always bothers me, because it looks like it's open and you just can't go through it. Get away from this fat cop. There's the S.T.A.R.S office, but we're not going to go in there just yet. Just a neat little memo from Kendo about the S.T.A.R.S custom Beretta M92F Samurai Edge. Same S.T.A.R.S photo. I can probably name everybody here, but I could not put the faces to the names because most of these people are dead when you meet them in Resident Evil 1. But there's a few noticeable ones, you know, obviously Chris and Barry over there on the right, Wesker next to them with his permanent sunglasses, Joseph Frost on the bottom right there with the bandana, then Jill, then I'm not sure who that is next to him, but next to that guy is Enrico Marini, the captain of S.T.A.R.S Bravo team, and everyone else on the left there is from Bravo team as well. You also notice that Rebecca is not in this picture because she's a rookie, and this was taken before she showed up. I think the guy in the center back there is Brad, but I'm not sure, just because he's wearing yellow. Wesker's desk. One thing that's always bothered me is just the design of this room. You can see in that photo how many members of S.T.A.R.S there are, and I thought maybe this is just the Alpha team room, But still, there's like 4 desks in here. Or 5 desks, counting Wesker's desk. And one of them is Rebecca's, who is a rookie member, and a rookie member of Bravo team, which is the non-main team. So it's really weird that she has a desk, other than because she's a main character. Barry's desk has guns on it, because he's a gun nut. That's also a weird line of dialogue, because it's exactly the same as the one in Resident Evil 2, which you think Jill would know what Chris's personality is, considering she works with him and sits right behind him. But they just reused the same text there. So on Jill's desk we have this very crappy lockpick that we could have probably just made out of anything. But it was the entire reason to come into the RCPD. Also on the wall there is a jacket that's supposed to be sort of relative to Claire's jacket, to kind of tell that they're related. And then we've got Rebecca's desk, which has candy on it, and also a first aid bag with a first aid spray in it. The contents of this locker are also one of the many randomized things in this game. You can also get the grenade launcher from here, and if you do, then if you get the grenade launcher from here, then the Magnum will be where the grenade launcher is. But I've heard that by examining that fax over there actually always ensures that you get the Magnum first. Honestly, I think the grenade launcher is more useful at this point in the game, but whatever. We got what we came for. Let's take our lockpick and go.
No! Come, anyone! Our platoon is cut off! No survivors found! This is Carlos! Send in support unit immediately!
So our radio here can't actually broadcast, I guess, but it can still receive. Now that we've got our lockpick, we can just take a nice leisurely stroll through the police station. Now there's one area we missed. That's actually just where you get the S.T.A.R.S card for Jill. We're gonna skip over that for now because there's just zombies there. Fat zombie's gone. Are you over here, fatty? The music has become more ominous, and there was a shattering downstairs. Hey, buddy. So this is the real reason that Nemesis is kind of a neat enemy, and also really annoying. There are random parts where he will just show up and fucking chase you down. And he can chase you through loading screens, but it works on a strange system. Basically, he won't come through this door until it's off camera, because they don't actually have a, him opening door animation or anything. So he won't attack us right here, but here he can. And he'll chase you for a while, so you always want to just try to get a couple screens ahead of him before he catches up to you. Like here, he won't appear through this door until we move over here. But he always says stars when he comes in, so you always know he's right behind you. He'll never sneak up on you. You might have also noticed when he jumped through the window that he has a big-ass rocket launcher. Now there are a few more things I want to get out of the RPD, but we can't do that until we lose Nemesis, because he'll just fucking constantly chase us. So we just need to get far enough away that he won't be able to follow us. You can tell you've lost him once the ominous music goes away, but it doesn't mean he won't just show up somewhere else instead. And if you go backwards into the area where you lost him, he'll still be there. So we'll have to just backtrack to the RPD later. I'll probably do that off camera. Another explosive barrel, but there doesn't seem to be any enemies around. You might also have noticed, though it might just be too early for you to think that, there are no lickers in this game, even though they should be all over Raccoon City. For some reason, they chose to take the lickers out and replace them with a new enemy. So this is a mercenary from the UBCS. Yet another person who has killed himself instead of becoming a zombie. It doesn't actually specify it there, but the UBCS stands for Umbrella Biohazard Countermeasure Service, which are basically, as it said, just sort of a cleanup crew for when Umbrella shit gets out of hand. I don't know why they didn't send them into the Spencer Mansion, or anywhere else. But they're not really proper, you know, Umbrella soldiers. They're just mercenaries for hire that they hired a lot of. Not to be confused with the USS, the Umbrella Security Service, which, you know, members like Hunk and the various members in Operation Raccoon City are from. So there's a fire hose here, and we did see a fire that we needed to pass through, but it's fixed with bolts, so we'll need something to get that free before we can use it. Some more green herbs, but of course I can't pick them up. There's also blue herbs, but honestly, I never bother picking these up in most Resident Evils, since they just rot in the item box the whole game, because there are a very small number of enemies that can poison you, and most of them are pretty easy to avoid getting poisoned by, such as the spiders. Oh. Sounds like more trouble over here. Oh, Cerberus, nope! Ah, I got too close to him. Luckily, the Cerberus are really easy to deal with, since they have a pretty silly knockdown animation every time you shoot them with a pistol. They're also really easy to dodge by accident. Like, I'm not even trying to dodge this, it's just I'm timing the button presses at the same time they happen to jump. They also have a bit of an invincibility frame when they get back up from being shot. You have to wait until you hear them growl again, otherwise your bullets will just go right through them. Like there. If I shoot right now, it won't do anything. You have to wait until he gets back up and does the full growl. They make a really silly sort of spring noise when you shoot them. It doesn't really sound like a dog. Another UBCS member that was alive moments ago. But we were too late to save him. He's got some gunpowder B. We can't carry it, of course. I could use my healing item, but that would be a waste if we're in yellow caution. So we'll just press on. We'll have to pick that up once we have some space. I'm hoping I can get by this. Oh no, I'm not gonna get by him without having them chase me. No, no, damn it. Which brings us to another safe room. We're actually gonna stop here, just because I'm gonna double back and grab all the stuff that we missed. So we'll continue to that, and then we'll call it a day here. So I'll see you guys on the other side, where I'm gonna double back to the RPD and grab a few things, as well as go into the areas that we missed, since Nemesis should have left by now. The first thing to grab is just this one locked evidence container here, which we have the lockpick for now. And that'll net us some more gunpowder. And we're also going to go into the area where we didn't go before. There's quite a few dead people in here. Oh no, they've been replaced by Cerberus. That's weird. Usually there's about 4 or 5 zombies in here. Really, Cerberus are only difficult to deal with if they get on opposite sides of you. And the dodge can actually fuck you up in this regard, because it'll throw you out of your, firing zone, and then suddenly they'll be on opposite sides and you'll be hopping all over the place. So really, you just want to get both of them in front of you, or however many there are, and just unload on them. I think there are some herbs back there sometimes. Here we have the only other area returning from Resident Evil 2, the conference room. This is where you get Jill's S.T.A.R.S card, but of course we don't need it since we already have Brad's. So we're just going to leave this here, since it's just going to take up space. I like that the game reminds you that there's nothing you can do with the fireplace. It's like, no, this is not for this game. Just don't even bother. Because we do have a lighter. Though I've never tried actually using the lighter on the fireplace. I'm sure it'd be like, there's no reason you need to do this. I could have sworn there was some ammo in here, but I might be wrong, or thinking of Resident Evil 2. No, I guess that's it. Now we'll just double back to the garage. Alright, so now we're back. We've gotten all our stuff into the box here. Just deposit this wire. You can see here we've got quite a number of healing items now that I went back and grabbed all that stuff, as well as a couple piles of gunpowder and a magnum. So we're pretty well set for the future. I'm sure I'm gonna find a way to waste all those health items at some point. But we're gonna call it here for episode 2 of Let's Play Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. I think we made some pretty good progress today. We met Nemesis, we explored the police station, and we left the police station. Maybe next time we'll find out a bit about this Carlos character that showed up on the radio. Until then, I've been Shadefyre, and I welcome y'all to join me again in Raccoon City. Y'all have yourselves a fine day.